Gaming Bolt presents 15 things you need to know before you buy Overkill's The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead franchise has been having a bit of a turbulent time in video games recently, but turbulent or not, the games are gonna keep coming. Next up is Overkill Software's crack at the zombie apocalypse created by Robert Kirkman, with the promise of bringing the brand of co-op first-person shooter design that has endeared the Payday games to so many people. As we gear up for Overkill's The Walking Dead's upcoming launch, or well, part of it anyway, perhaps it's time to take a look at some of the most notable things related to the game. And in this feature, that's what we're gonna do, so without further ado, let's begin. Setting. It doesn't take a genius or an avid Walking Dead fan to figure out that the upcoming game is set in a post-apocalyptic landscape brimming with the undead. The property's name is enough to give that away. But the Walking Dead stories are rarely ever restricted to just one location, and they often take place across various locations throughout the North American continent. One of the most prominent locations the series story has taken us in the comics, and the TV show as well, is Washington, D.C., which is where Overkill's The Walking Dead finds its home as well. Story info. Though Overkill's The Walking Dead is very much part of the larger Walking Dead universe, Overkill have stated that they're going to be going for a completely original story, saying that they'll be delving into themes and topics that haven't been a focus in the TV show or the comics. What's interesting is that Robert Kirkman, the creator of The Walking Dead, has also been involved in the game's production, providing the developers with advice and feedback. Slight focus on narrative. With all that said and done, anyone who's played Payday or its sequel would know that Overkill's games aren't really ever about the story, and that's very much going to be the case in The Walking Dead as well. Though there will be a slight focus on the story and storytelling in the game, the developers have stated that they want the experience to stick close to what people expect in a game developed by them, so don't go expecting a riveting tale. 4 characters. There will be 4 central characters in Overkill's The Walking Dead, and players will have the option of playing as any one of them. These will be the temperamental Aiden, the former kindergarten teacher Heather, an old man looking for his family named Grant, and a former surgeon named Maya. Unique skills and abilities. Each of these 4 characters, as you may have guessed, will play very differently from each other. Grant is an experienced hunter and knows the wilderness very well and specializes in rifles. Aiden channels his repressed anger through melee weapons, such as baseball bats. Heather seems to have immaculate survival skills, and it seems she comes with a supply of bonuses, while Maya, as a former surgeon, functions as your go-to medic. Each character will also have their own individual skill tree. Stealth, survival, horror. Overkill's The Walking Dead will also try to blend several genres and styles of play together. You can of course expect it to have the kind of co-op first-person shooting you would expect from a Payday game, while horror elements are also plain for all to see. In addition to these, there will be survival elements thrown into the mix, which also makes sense given the setting, while players will also have to engage in stealth in certain situations. The inclusion of skill trees and progression signifies that there are going to be RPG elements in there as well, though how emphasized these will be remains to be seen. Difficulty. In spite of being a game that is built around the concept of co-op play and requires always online connections, you don't necessarily have to play Overkill's The Walking Dead with other players. You can, if you want, play the game solo as well. Thankfully, the developers have confirmed that the game will have scaling difficulty, which means that the game's challenging nature will move up or down with respect to how many players there are in a party. Mission variety. The developers have also confirmed that there will be a nice variety of mission types in the game. In addition to daily bounties, weekly challenges, and other timed missions that crop up on your map, the game's mission objectives will range from things such as rescue missions or finding and retrieving resources, to defending your camp against invading bandits and raiders, and of course, hordes of walkers, or zombies. Customization. Of course, customization is also going to be thrown into the mix. Players can of course customize the appearance of their characters, but weapon customization is also going to play a huge role. In an interview with us, Overkill Software confirmed that The Walking Dead will have 45 weapons at launch, which come with a total of over 250 mods for customization purposes. HORDE-O-METER. Overkill's The Walking Dead also has something called the HORDE-O-METER mechanic, which, according to the developers, is what ties the entire experience together. Everything from AI placement, loot distribution, and enemy type and behavior falls under its umbrella, and this will determine the nature of your encounters in the game. Take on smaller groups of enemies head-on, for instance, and you run the risk of attracting a larger horde of zombies, while not doing so to save ammunition and not making too much sound might mean that you risk losing members of your team. No split screen. Being a co-op-centric game, many people may have been hoping, or even expecting, that Overkill's The Walking Dead would feature split-screen support. Sadly, in this day and age, split-screen is something that's become less and less common, and The Walking Dead 2 will not feature split-screen functionality. Online co-op is all we get. No microtransactions. Microtransactions were one of the biggest sticking points for a lot of people with Payday 2. Overkill's The Walking Dead, however, is not going down that road. There will be no loot boxes or microtransactions in the game, not even of the cosmetic variety. Quote, "For us, one of the most important things is to stay immersed in the universe," Almir Listo, global brand director at publisher Starbreeze, told us in an interview. He went on to say, "We don't think microtransactions and loot boxes fit the game. When you play Overkill's The Walking Dead, you unlock character skins by playing the game." Post-launch support. Overkill's The Walking Dead thankfully doesn't have monetization options, but the developers and publishers still have to make money off of it. They'll be doing that in the right way though, with post-launch updates and content releases. In the aforementioned interview, while talking with us about microtransactions, Almir Listo also said, quote, "When it comes to DLC and updates, our ambition is to keep a balance between free and paid updates." Console launch delayed. This is a game that's been delayed multiple times by now, and though the PC version of the game is almost out, releasing on November 6, those waiting for a console version will have to wait a little longer until February 6 of next year. In case you're wondering why this is the case, it's because both versions are being handled by different entities, with Starbreeze publishing the PC release and 505 Games handling the console release. A Switch version? Overkill brought over their successful co-op FPS Payday 2 to the Switch, and it's worked out pretty well for them. So naturally, many people have been asking about whether or not The Walking Dead might follow suit. The answer? A non-committal maybe. As it stands right now, the developers remain focused on the PC, PS4, and Xbox One releases of the game, but a Nintendo Switch version might also end up happening. And that wraps it up. If you like what we're doing, please consider subscribing to our channel. We upload new videos daily. Also, don't forget to switch on the bell notification icon, that way you don't miss out on any of our videos.